Call to order, Borough of Grafton, agenda meeting, December 8th, 2014. Flag salute by Mr. Crown, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amendola.
Here.
Ms. Amendola. Here. Mr. Crown.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien is absent. Mr. Phillips.
Here.
Ms. Weitzel. Here. Mr. Hayes.
Here.
Mayor Bloom.
Here.
Solicitor Daley.
Here.
Manager Trant.
Yes.
Manager Gratz. Are we starting?
I have no idea. Sorry.
Director Kazarovski.
Here.
I'd like to inform the public that we had an executive session prior to this meeting. No action was taken. The executive session was on a personnel matter. No action was taken. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the bill list dated December 8th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the bill list? Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The approval of the minutes, I understand they're not available for the previous meeting, so we'll cover that in our next meeting in January. Yeah, has anyone signed up for discussion on anything on the agenda? I'll let Mary see that. No? Okay. Moving right into the administration motions, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the 2015 General Fund, Road Tax Fund, and Sewer Fund budgets.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the budget? We can do roll call on that, sure. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Amendola.
Yes.
Ms. Amendola. Yes. Mr. Crown.
Yes.
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Weitzel. Was it moved in second?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Sorry. Yes. And Mr. Hayes.
Yes. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1629, fixing the tax rate at 5.67 mils on real estate property for 2015 fiscal year and fixing rate of the Special Road Improvement Fund at 1.42 mils.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Ms. Amendola. Any discussion on this motion?
Yeah, I think it's important just to let the public know there's been no tax increase
Correct.
this year.
No tax increase this year. This is carrying this forward from the previous year. And with regards to the budget, or it's a balanced budget, I mean, what will we be putting in surplus roughly to the,
No, the estimate is about $200,000 from 2014 moving forward.
and so that's what we won't spend this year, we think.
Right.
But for the 2015 budget, are we at net, or is
We're at
there?
a net. We're basically, yes,
Okay, so we don't anticipate a carryover, but the budget is balanced.
correct.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-23, fixing the salaries of certain employees effective January 1, 2015, and establishing holidays, vacations, sick leave, and other benefits, and providing disciplinary procedures for the violations thereof, and repealing inconsistent ordinances and resolutions.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I do have a discussion point. It requires that all employees that fall under this resolution are required to live in the borough of Grafton. Are we considering a waiver to that motion for our borough manager? For example, like we've done in past practice.
Yes, when we wrote the requirements for the manager, the opening for the borough manager, we discussed that and we decided that we did not want to have that restriction. And there are several things that we need to do in order to make that available to us. And Manager Trant has those as an itemized list, and he intends to put it on our agendas and get that taken care of long before we come to a vote on deciding something formally for the completion of the borough manager.
And what, with regard to our current employee that's not a resident of Grafton, how do we handle that? one of our employees in the police office, administration office.
And the
Part-time,
Bar.
the part-time police secretary.
Police secretary is not a resident?
I noticed she lived in Ingram all her whole life.
Okay. I don't know, we can look into that, yeah. I mean, I wasn't aware of that, until just now, but I do know we were not anticipating having that restriction in place for the borough manager, so, I mean, let's take that offline, figure out what we have to do there. I don't think we wanna replace our, police secretary as a result of this, so let's figure out what we have to do.
Can I amend the motion to strike that category? In the resolution.
Which part would we strike? I mean, you mean strike it in the resolution?
In the resolution. With,
All right.
how about, I make a motion to adopt the resolution with the exception of the part-time police secretary, residency requirement for the part-time police secretary.
Us, the manager, that's fine? Okay.
Can we just make an exception
Wouldn't it
like
be
that?
residency for everyone?
Everyone, yeah,
Not
tall or not.
necessarily by title?
Are you saying you want to get rid of the requirement in its entirety, or fix the ordinance because you currently have an employee who does not live in the borough?
I believe the latter.
Yes, that's what I would
Fix it.
for,
Force the ordinance.
With the
Resolution.
exception,
The
to the
resolution.
exception.
yeah.
Can you change it, like, be worded like wording this for the borough manager? It gives council the option to waive that.
That would be my suggestion, is that you add a sentence that says council may waive this requirement at their discretion. That's
Because then
how I
anytime
would-
we hire someone who does or doesn't, we would have to amend that.
The council would have to make the decision as to whether to waive it or not.
Okay, so,
I guess the larger question is, what's the benefit of keeping the language at all?
Well, that was a discussion we're gonna have as we move forward, trying to hire the manager. The manager ordinance and this resolution and all the pieces that lead up to that. Have that bigger discussion about when you do or don't want the residency requirement to apply. I think there's sort of a no harm, no foul situation here moving forward with what you have in front of you, knowing as Mr. President said earlier, that we're gonna fix all this stuff as we move forward.
Hmm?
Another employee doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't do an audit when we started here to see who lived in, who didn't.
Right.
Yeah, show your
Yeah, the
visa at the
ordinance
door.
officer is
So I think we just need to move forward and we'll fix it as we said, when we move forward with the manager, filling the manager position. We'll look at all this, the residency requirements, and you can make a decision globally rather than have the discussion piecemeal now.
Would we have to change it by ordinance later?
This is a resolution.
Resolution,
I
sorry,
mean,
I said
resolution.
ordinance, resolution.
Change it.
Anytime.
okay, so we can approve this resolution, and then we all recognize that we need to address this moving forward, because we already know we're addressing it moving forward for the purposes of the manager.
Correct.
Right? So, let's just understand that we're gonna change this resolution as we see fit, and maybe waiving it on a case-by-case basis is precisely what we would do, or we would have more, stronger language in there, dictating when or when we would not, enforce that. But, I mean, I'd say, let's leave the resolution as it stands now with the understanding that we're gonna address this later. Any other discussion? Let's roll call vote this.
Ms. Whitesell,
No,
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Kraus,
Yes.
Ms. Amendola,
Yes.
Mr. Amendola,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-24, establishing a general schedule of fees, costs, charges, and expenses for the year 2015, and repealing any and all resolutions inconsistent therewith.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this resolution? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next motion. I'll entertain a motion to reappoint Susan O'Connell to the Crafton Borough Civil Service Commission for a term that shall expire July 1, 2020.
So moved.
I don't think we have a second.
No second? Okay,
Can I make a motion?
Can we,
hold on. Do we have to, we make a motion?
The motion dies.
Motion dies.
It dies if it's not been seconded. It's.
Okay. All right, so I'll have another motion. I'll have a motion to appoint Philip Lavaseur to the Crafton Borough Civil Service Commission for a term that shall expire July 1st, 2020.
So moved.
second,
So I received Mr. Levaseur's offer to serve on the commission late this afternoon. I've not had a chance to speak to him about it. We do like to have our potential commissioners have an opportunity to address the council at the time of appointment or during consideration, so I'll offer that to you now, if there's anything that you'd like to say.
Okay.
Would you like me to read the letter and put it into the record, or?
I mean, if
Okay.
you choose to read the
when were
letter,
the
you...
letters of interest due?
Hmm?
When were the letters of interest due?
They weren't due. There was no time period.
We were working on this back in June.
Right.
I just put this up.
I think at the last meeting, we said put it back out to the website and stuff like that. Is that right?
Not that one.
No, not that one. Feel
Can you
free.
say a few words?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You want to read your,
Just one?
Yeah, okay, this is really quickly. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Philip Lavaseur. I live at 401 Clearview Avenue. My wife Jacqueline and I live in the borough. As you know, past discussions, we've worked on several community efforts to improve the community, and I currently serve on the Planning Commission with the Borough of Crafton, and I would enjoy working with the Civil Service Commission to work with the council and our public employees on any issues that may arise. And I have a background in political science and business administration and a master's in energy and earth resources. I currently work in the region for a natural gas company, and through my duties as a employee of that company, I deal with several contractors and their employees, deal with several environmental and regulatory compliance issues. One of my strong suits has been legal and business ethics. I have actually, back in college, I was on the ethics team for the Texas A&M University Corpus Christi, so I know how important it is to hold our public employees accountable, and I myself was a public employee as well for the state of Texas. I worked for the Bureau of Economic Geology, and other experiences I've had in the public sector. I worked for a U.S. congressman and for a state representative in the state of Texas. So I have some interest in ethics and business. So I think some of my skills may come to use for the council and for the citizens of Crafton. So if you have any questions, please feel that.
Mr. President,
Yes,
Mr. Lavaseur, you currently serve on the Planning Commission
Correct.
For the Borough of Crafton, which is an
Correct.
appointed office, correct?
Correct.
There may be a problem. Borough Code, Section 1173, office is incompatible with Civil Service Commissioner. No commissioner shall at the same time hold an elective or appointed office under the U.S. government, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, or any political subdivision of the Commonwealth, except that one member of the commission may be a member of Borough Council and one may be a member of the teaching profession. Problem you have, I mean,
Yeah.
if you wanted, if you wanted to accept the appointment of a Civil Service Commissioner, under this section of the code, you'd have to step down from the Planning Commission. So, as long as you're aware of that.
Yeah, and that's up to you, to the will of council, what you prefer.
No, it's up to you.
It's up to you.
Okay, then, don't really wanna step down from the planning commission, it's pretty important. I wasn't aware of this caveat.
Yeah, we ran, with another municipality, we ran into something like this once before. I mean, it's an appointed position, planning commission's an appointed, council makes the appointment to the planning commission, and this section of the code's pretty clear that you can't do both at the same time.
Well, then I withdraw my.
Well, thank you, Mr. Webster.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
In light of that, can I entertain another motion to appoint and see if it's seconded?
Sure.
All right.
So, Mr. Lavasio, that, I guess, his motion didn't die because it was seconded.
Right.
Does somebody want to move to withdraw the motion to appoint Mr. Lavasio and second that?
It was moved
Moved and seconded.
and seconded, moved by Fred, right, and seconded by Nina.
So move to withdraw.
Are you sure?
All right. So, I'll entertain a motion to reappoint Susan O'Connell to the Crafton Borough Civil Service Commission for a term that shall expire July 1st, 2020.
So moved.
Still no second.
Yeah, no second.
Okay. And since we have to have somebody, since we're supposed to have someone seated in this commission within 30 days, and we've now
We're way past that.
6 months, and we only had 2 letters of interest, where do we go from here?
Is there somebody who,
Let's advertise it again.
Well, we have an
I don't-
alternate, maybe see if she wants to take from the position.
She wouldn't take the alternate
You should
position.
No, no, the alternate we have.
Yeah, this is not what I can appoint. This is something we have to vote on.
But as far as when Susan came on, she came on as an appointee from council. She wasn't, she was the council representative to the Civil Service Commission, where, according to what Mr. David just read, you can do that also.
Well, we can, yeah, someone from council can be on it.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't appoint someone from council. Someone from council would have to submit a letter of interest. The only thing we're at now is that we only have 2 letters of interest, one that was just withdrawn, so we're down to 1 letter of interest. So, I mean, can we, is the course of action just to re-ask, I guess, for letters of interest and see if we get any? Is that?
sure, I mean, you do have an alternate right now?
Yeah.
Who can, because it's me, I think you need all, for Civil Service Commission, and all 3 have to sit, for any meeting of this, so you need your 2.
Yeah, so we have 2 permanent and an alternate now.
Yeah, you could re-advertise it. You can, if somebody from there's no council member representative of the Civil Service Commission right now. If somebody on council is interested in it, but it would take a vote of council to have that person appointed.
Hmm?
You keep saying like 2, you had Fred and Susan, and then Phil was a third.
Phil is the 3rd. Well, let's wait and ask for more interest.
I nominate President Joe Hayes.
What? Can't do that, can we?
You
Make a
can.
motion.
It's not nominated, you'd be moved to appoint.
Okay, so I'll withdraw my motion for Philip, and I'll second that motion to make it Joe Hayes.
You can either accept or not.
Come on
Yeah.
now. It's not a joke, guys.
It's not Joe. You're sitting in an important seat.
You were Trump Phillips, what are we gonna do here?
I'll accept.
You need to vote on it.
Right.
Yes, I know, it's been moved and seconded, right, but as was pointed out to me, I can either decide to accept or decide not to accept, and then we vote. So, if voted, I will accept the position.
So we have a motion, seconded. Any questions on the motion, right?
Correct. Roll call vote, please.
no discussion on the motion.
Oh,
Oh, if there is.
discussion on the motion?
Has your work schedule changed where you're in town? Because there are stipulations with the Civil Service Commission if something does go down, there's a 10-day period for trials and things like that. I'm just asking.
Yeah, my work schedule is remained the same, which entails being home 1 day a week, over the weekends and Mondays, and 1 week a month. So no, it has not changed. And it's planning on being like that through September, at this point.
Which his schedule could probably change at any time, like anyone else's schedule, if he's accepting the nomination and he's accepting to fill whatever
His
he
schedule's
needs.
just a little different since he's out of town on
But
airplanes.
if he knows something's coming up and he can make arrangements, then he will.
And that's my schedule.
No, I'm not holding it against you, I'm just saying, the Civil Service Commission, there's strict dates in there that can't be moved because you may not be here. It's the law.
Plus, I got one more question.
Mhm.
If at any time it does get to be to a point where you can't fulfill it, you can resign from that seat, correct?
Sure.
And then we can refill that seat.
Right, we can resign from the Civil Service Commission.
Sure.
Sure. And we have an alternate.
Correct.
So, I mean,
So that'll work out.
any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Amendola?
Yes.
Ms. Amendola?
Yes.
Mr. Crown?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Wenzel?
No.
And Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Manager Tran. I'll entertain a motion to authorize Schneider Downs to conduct a transitional financial audit for an amount not to exceed $9,300.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to approve the purchase of 2 new laptop computers for administrative purposes for an amount not to exceed $2,000 under government contract with Dell.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is a discussion item with a potential motion, if we can agree. And it's discussion items for the 2015 council meeting schedule advertisement. Basically is, my suggestion would be to continue the meetings as they are now, first and third Mondays of the month. At the same time, if somebody else has any other.
Second.
Oh,
fourth.
what did I say? Oh, second and fourth,
Yeah,
I said
that's-
first and
yeah.
third, I'm sorry. Second and fourth Mondays to be held at the same time, moving forward in 2015. Does anyone have an alternate day they'd like to consider?
No.
Tuesdays?
No.
No.
The only conflicting date would be May 25th, which is Memorial Day. And that happened this past year, and we had them 2 consecutive, the second and the third week.
That's fine.
But I'm for advertising the second and fourth Monday.
Okay, so, is there any discussion on this motion? Or any discussion more on this before I make it, entertain a motion? No. So I'll just try to write this the best I can. right?
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll entertain a motion to hold the 2015 council meeting schedule on the second and fourth Mondays of the month. At 7:15 PM, thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There we go. All right, next one is the solicitor RFP process up for discussion. You want to speak to what we're doing here on this with regard to
Sure.
the committee having?
Yeah, the
Met-
committee met last week and we reviewed the proposals that were received from potential solicitor candidates and developed some criteria. Mr. Hayes is going to interview presidents of council from most, if not all, of those that are on the list. We received 11. Interviewed presidents of council for one or two of the reference communities that were listed. We hope that the committee will then work to narrow it down to 2 or 3, and then have interviews and discussion with full council, and recommendation to council on selection.
So interviews with 11, you said?
No, just phone calls.
Phone, okay, phone.
President Hayes is going to make phone calls to add to our information to
You're
consider.
calling all 11 that submitted a proposal?
I'm not calling them individually, I'm calling the
Presidents of council.
presidents of council.
Presidents of council?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do that, right? There's they may not all take my call, but I'm doing that as to get more information to help us narrow down the list.
President, when you say presidents of council, presidents of borough council?
Yeah. Basically, the people who have submitted,
For the municipalities that they.
right, almost as a reference check, right?
Okay.
They've listed boroughs that they are serving on. I feel like it would be important to get a discussion. And I'm going to reach out to the borough council, the president of the borough, but it could be someone else serving on the borough that's had interaction with the solicitor. But I'm going to start with the presidents, just to try to get their feedback in the style of the solicitor, what kind of interaction that they have, if it's positive, if it's negative. And just as another data point that the committee's going to use to help narrow down the list from 11. Once we narrow down the list, though, we're still going to open this up to full council's involvement to interview the sub-list, if you will.
What's the timeframe for your phone calls?
I can't say until I speak with the members of council. I mean, I hope to speak with the members of council by the end of the year. May take into January. Okay? No other discussion? We're not, there's no action to be taken on there, just an update. Okay. Discussion, what is this, open the floor for nominations? Okay, so we, who was, oh, right, Nina was pro tem, now she's vice president, so we have an open pro tem. So, as far as the discussion, right, I can just open up the floor for nominations, right? I don't have to nominate someone, so I'm just gonna open up the floor for nominations of somebody for president pro tem.
Nominate Mike Crown
For what?
for pro tem.
Pro tem is,
Just pro temp, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Nina served as pro tem until we voted her as vice president
Yes.
when Tracy
Okay.
left.
I didn't know if this was two different things here, or it was just one word. Second, go ahead.
Are you willing? Any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, let's roll call vote.
So nominations are closed. at this
Oh,
point.
I'm sorry.
Are there any other nominations?
Are there any other nominations besides Mr. Crown? Can't nominate me. All right,
About-
nominations are closed.
Mr. Amendola,
Yes.
Ms. Amendola,
Yes.
Mr. Crown,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien, or Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Weitzel,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes. Okay. Another discussion item under ordinance.
Mr. President?
Yes.
We also want to, while we're doing appointments, appoint someone to the rec board, appoint someone to the Shaycog Commission. Those are two Tracy also occupied.
Are those ones that
Shake Hogs of President.
Charles.
Charles.
I just appoint someone? Just shake up. And do we have, was it 2 members of council that are on that? And Nina is one, and we need a second.
I was an alternate.
Oh, you are the alternate.
Tracy was on it before.
Tracy was the,
When's the last time anyone's attended and given a report?
probably not since Tracy. Any interest for the primary person to serve to shake up?
I nominate Phil,
Well,
Tom, do you have any interest?
oh, no, it's an appointment by you, I'm sorry.
I'm asking for interest.
I'm sorry. Come on, do something.
do something. Uh,
No interest?
My schedule doesn't, because they meet one time a month,
Thursday night.
Yeah.
Thursday